All right, for more on it, I want to bring in Republican strategist Mercedes Schlapp and Democratic strategist John Rowley. Good to see you guys.
Great to be here.
John, you know, you heard Carl, you heard Adam. It seems as though the Republicans have more in the way of enthusiasm in that the base that's supporting Donald Trump is a little more excited than they are about Hillary Clinton. How does she combat that?
Well, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, by the time we get through this election, both sides' bases are going to be fired up. And frankly, on the Florida report, I mean, Florida's a must-win for Donald Trump. All of the latest polling shows that neck and neck. So if he loses Florida, the race is over. So I think one other thing, and I've done probably, yeah. I've done probably 50 races in Florida over 20 years, and it's never, I mean, essentially what's happening is what always happens in Florida. Democrats turn out higher on Election Day. Republicans do more absentee voting, so it's not really a big news flash what's happening right now in Florida.
Okay, so we've established that he has a narrow path, but we've also established that, you know, things are not quite as they seem. A lot, you know, think about Brexit. Think about the number of people recently, Mercedes, who have come out in favor of him, and it seems almost as though you've got a number of Republicans coming home to roost. They're coming back into the family fold, and then you have a lot of people still that are reluctant to say to the pollster, yeah, I'm voting for Trump. How do you factor all of that into the models you see now?
Sure. Well, first of all, the Cubs won the World Series. Okay, who would have thought that would happen?
That's a great comparison.
But look, I think for Donald Trump, definitely has that narrow path. What we are seeing is a momentum clearly shifting in his favor. Enthusiasm, as you were mentioning, is higher for Trump than it is for Hillary Clinton. And I think that the biggest challenge for Donald Trump is mostly because of the electoral math. I mean, it is the fact that he's going to have a clean sweep in so many of these battleground states. In addition to that, then bringing in a blue state, whether it's Pennsylvania, Michigan, it gets a little complicated for Donald Trump. But there is that sense: is there enough of that quiet, silent voter that won't admit that they're going to vote for Donald Trump that's going to put him over the edge? But those people better be in those battleground states.
Well, think about the recent events, okay, in the news cycle. Obviously, the sticker shock of Obamacare has a lot of people saying, oh, maybe this whole thing has not really worked out in my favor. And then, of course, there's the reopening of this investigation into Hillary Clinton's email server. So a lot of people that maybe forgave her first time around, do you think they're willing to do it twice? Do they start to scratch their head and say, why is this coming back? Maybe it's not some conspiracy. Maybe it's just her.
Well, first of all, you have to wonder if many of these voters are actually hearing what's out there. The mainstream media is actually not barely covering the WikiLeaks, barely covering the FBI investigation of the Clinton Foundation. They've been more reluctant to cover this. So I think that as the voters continue to hear this pattern of corruption, it is why her dishonesty numbers are so low. With that being said, Trump has had to really been on message, whether it would be on Obamacare and trade and all these other issues.
And he's done that.
And he's been on message. Is that enough 5 days out? Well, and that's going to be the big question.
John, the news cycle also, frankly, is you know, on his side in that she's really struggling to keep up with everything that's coming at her. The latest being that she may have had her server attacked by foreign entities 5 times, and there are reports now of this investigation into the Clinton Foundation for a pay-to-play scandal there. I mean, all of these things have been lurking there. They seem to be all of a sudden bubbling up in a way that, my goodness, if I were running that campaign, this is like disaster time.
I mean, to say the #1 news story of the last week, the media has underreported on the FBI director essentially playing hatchet man against Hillary Clinton. I think that's a little bit of an overstatement. But, you know, it's been a tough week.
Mercedes didn't say that. She said it's the WikiLeaks, right? I mean,
it's between the WikiLeaks.
That's been covered and covered and covered.
This has also been the FBI
I guess you watch a lot of Fox Business, because we've covered it, but not everyone else.
Look at the numbers, and clearly in terms of minutes that the mainstream media has covered these topics,
what's the revelation? There's been no major revelation. There have been more controversial and meaningful things Donald Trump tweeted
the Clinton
than have been in the
Foundation, and that is
He's
not
tweeted
a revelation.
more newsworthy things than has been any of the WikiLeaks. There's no smoking gun in it.
I can't believe it. Well,
just because you want it to be true, it doesn't make it true.
The emails are what they are. They state what they state. It's clear that the emails have shown that the Clinton Foundation has been involved in pay-for-play schemes. You had Doug Bann, who was going out there pushing forward the Bill Clinton Inc. and trying to organize millions of dollars for him. That's newsworthy. I'm sorry. That's something you got to cover. You got to let the American people be aware,
it doesn't implicate Hillary Clinton
of what
at all.
They have to be aware of this pattern of dishonesty and deceit that the Clintons keep pushing forward.
How can you say it doesn't implicate her in that? I mean, this is a woman who was married to the guy who's running the foundation. It seems to me you need a little bit more of a Chinese wall in that family if she's Secretary of State. Anyway, we don't know what happened, but it doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good, and she should have been smarter than that. Thanks, Mercedes. John, I'm going to see you again in a little bit.